Hi, this is Marloomz Creations, and today I'm going to show you how to create this bumblebee on your Rainbow Loom. For today, you're going to need your loom set up in the staggered, where the middle row is above the other two and the arrows facing down. You're going to need a hook, and you're going to need a few colors. Oh, actually just 3 colors. You're going to need about, I believe I wrote it down, you're going to need 98 yellow bands, 108 black bands, and 36 jelly teal for the wings. You don't have to use this color. You can use clear or any color wing you want. This is the color that I'm going to be using for today though. And then for the eyes, nose, and antenna, you're going to need 2 gold beads. If you don't have gold, you can also use, I don't know if you guys have these kind of bands, or you can just use yellow, it doesn't matter. And for the nose and the eyes, I used 2 small pony beads that are 4 millimeters by 7, and then, oops, so that's for the eyes. And then for the nose, I used a regular size pony bead, so that's eyes, nose, and then 2 beads for the antenna. And again, if you don't have that, then just for the eyes, we're just going to use 2 black bands. If you don't have the beads for the antenna, then we can just use the gold bands. And for the nose, we're going to use 2 black bands to make it that thick. So don't worry if you don't have beads, because I can show you during the tutorial what to use instead. And so that's it. I'll say how many just in case you didn't hear again. So for the black, you're going to need 108, yellow is 98, and the wing 36 of the color that you choose for the wing. And that's it. And then gather your supplies, and also maybe you can grab a spare hook or some toothpicks, because we're going to make the limbs and you're going to need to place them on something. And then that's all. So let's get started. I've already made 1 foot, 1 arm, 1 antenna, the cheek extension, and the wing, and this is what you're going to need. And I will make all these pieces with you, and then you will have to make another set, so you just need 2 of these. So the first thing we're going to do is let's make the wing. You're going to grab the color that you choose for your wing, and I'm just going to be using Rainbow Loom's their jelly bands. I think they're teal. And you're going to place a single band on those 3 pegs, and then 2 bands here, 2 here, and I'm still using double bands. Double bands here, and then so you went down 3 times on each side, and now you're going to take 2 more bands and you're going to place it on these 3 pegs like that. So those 3, and grab another teal band or whatever color you're using for your wing, and you're going to wrap a single band around itself, and you're going to place it on these 3 pegs. So those 3, you're not doing anything on these. And then you're going to do the same, wrap a single around itself, and you're going to place it on these 3. And then you're going to take a single again, and you're going to wrap a single around this peg 4 times. And that's your wing for your bee. And then you're going to reach in where the cap band is, and there should be 2 bands on the bottom. Just grab one and bring it to the left or to the right. It does not matter which side you bring it on. And then once you've done that, you're going to just reach in here and bring these 2 bands forward. The same here. Reach in here, bring these forward. Then push back the triangle band and loop this. Again here too, push back the triangle, grab the bottom 2 bands, loop it forward. Same here, pushing that triangle band away, loop forward, and loop forward. And this is the time to grab a spare hook or a toothpick, something thin. You don't want to overstretch the bands. So I'm going to place the other set on here since I already made one. Then take your hook, go through all those bands, and you can remove it, and that's one of your bee's wings. So you're going to make 2 of these. If you want to pause the video and then make another set, you can. Now we're going to make one of the arms. So you're going to grab your black bands, and you're going to grab 5 yellow bands. Take a single band for the arm, and you're going to wrap it around itself, and you're going to go on these 2 pegs. It doesn't matter if you use the middle or the end. Another single, and wrap it around itself, and place it on there, and you're going to do that 6 times. So you're going to go down 6 times. So that's 3, and then after the 6th one, you're going to grab 3 yellow bands and place it on these 3 pegs right here. And then the other 2, the single, you wrap around 4 times, and then push that down, and then again another single wrapped around 4 times. Be careful looping it since it might be so tight because we have 2 caps, and you're going to push back all of the caps and bring the bottom 3 bands forward. If your bands snap doing it this way and you don't like that, then what you can do is instead you can make the yellow part on your hook first and then add those after. So you would take a band that's single and wrap it around the hook 4 times, again 4 times, and then you would grab the 3 bands like this, and you would transfer these bands onto those 3 bands like that, and then push it in the middle, put your hook through the other loop, and then once you've done that, then you can take this loop and place it on that peg like that, and then you would loop, you would reach in for the black band and you loop forward. That way your yellow band doesn't snap. So that's the other way in case they're snapping for you. So now once you've looped this forward, you grab the double black band and loop it forward, and the same with this one. Just continue to loop forward, and this is one of your bee's arms. So you're going to make the same thing. I'm going to take him off. And then just adjust the cap bands so they look a little better. And that is one of your bee's arms. And now we're going to do the foot. So we made the wing, the arm, and then we're going to make the foot, and then one of the antenna and the cheek extension. So let's make the foot. For the foot, you're going to take a single black band and wrap it around itself and place it on these 2 pegs. And you're going to do that 6 times as well. And then after you've done that, you're going to grab a single yellow band and place it on these 3 pegs like that. Then take 2 bands that are yellow. This time it's 2. And you're going to place 2 there, 2 on this side, 2 in the middle, 2 more in the middle. So it should look like that so far. Then grab another 2 and place it on these 3 pegs like that. Then you're going to grab a single band and wrap it around this peg 4 times. then we're going to loop it. So you're going to take your hook and reach in the capping, and you're going to, these two bands right here, there's two, you're going to grab just one and pull it up and bring it to the left or to the right, it doesn't matter, and then grab the other single band and bring it to the left or right, then reach in and grab the double, and then you're going to loop the middle all the way forward first, and then once you've looped the middle first, you can remove just those two like that, and it shouldn't pop off of you because it should be really tight. Don't remove this, just remove those, because we want these bands to overlap first. So reach in here and loop this here, reach here, grab the bottom two, loop that forward, grab that single band, loop it to the middle peg, grab this single, loop to the middle peg. Then you can grab those loops now. There should be 2 and 2, and you're going to put it on this peg right here. And then you're going to reach in, grab the black, loop it forward, and the same here, and just continue to loop forward. And then you can take it off with your hook or a spare toothpick or something and put it to the side. Now it looks funky, but you can take another hook and pull on that cap band and then start stretching it out, and when you stretch it out it starts to look normal. The same with this one. This is just for the foot. You can take your hook, go through the caps, and then, sorry for that, and that is your bee's feet. So we did an arm together, we did the feet, we did the wing, and we did not do the antenna and the cheek extension. So we're going to do the antenna and then the cheek. For the antenna, if you have a bead, the first step you're going to do is, if you have a large bead and you have a hook that can go through it, you're going to take a black band and, oop, I lost that bead. You're going to wrap a single black band around itself, and you're going to take your hook, if it fits through your bead, and grab it and pull it through, and then grab the other loop, and that's how you begin. If you don't have a hook that fits through there, then I suggest grabbing a piece of floss and trying to get the band through the bead, or if you can fit it through, because it does have to be doubled over. If you don't have a bead, this is what we're going to do. We're going to grab one of these bands that look like the bubble bands, and if you don't have this, you can just use a regular band, it doesn't matter, and you're going to wrap it around your hook 4 times like that, and then the same thing, grab a single black band, wrap it around itself, and you're going to transfer these onto that doubled over black band. Then take your hook, grab the other loop, and that is what your antenna would look like. And then you would just follow the next steps. But today I'm going to be using the bead. So once I've done that, I did 1 time with the black and it's doubled. I'm going to take another black single band, double it over, and I'm going to bring it through and catch the other loop. And the same thing, doubled over band, bring it through, catch the other loop, doubled over band, bring it through all the bands, and catch the other loop. Two, three, 4, and then just one more time. So you do that 5 times. And grab the other one and bring it through. So that's one of your antenna, and then we're going to place that and transfer that onto this spare hook. So now we have done the antenna, the feet, the hand, and the wing, and all we need is the cheek extension. For the cheek extension, all you need to do is go down your loom using 2 yellow bands, and then another 2 yellow bands anywhere in your loom, it doesn't matter, and then take a single, so these were 2 bands and 2 bands, and this is the cheek extension, and then take a single and only wrap it around that peg 3 times, not 4 and not 2. And then you push back and you just loop, and again you need 2 cheek extensions, one for the left, one for the right. So everything I just showed you, you're going to need to do again to make a double. And this is the cheek, and so now I have showed you every step. And once you have made all the pieces, then we can begin by making the actual bee. And as far as his little stinger, I made that after he was already loomed, and I added it to the end because I wasn't sure how it was going to look or if it was going to be complicated to loop. So I can show you how to add that at the end. So gather your, make the rest of your pieces, and then we will begin the actual tutorial. To begin making the bee, and the first thing you're going to do is start grabbing your yellow bands, and you're going to make sure that your loom is set up where the middle peg is above the other 2. Grab 2 yellow bands and either go to the left or to the right, it doesn't matter. And we're going to go down 4 times, and then on the 5th one we're turning in. So we turn in on the 5th, and then the same on this side, and you can fill the entire middle as well. Once you've filled in the entire face, you're going to switch to your black bands, and you're going to make the neck. If you want the neck to be a little sturdier, I use only 2 bands. If you want to make 3 bands to make it thicker, you can do that. I'm just going to use 2 for now, but again, if you use 3, it's going to make it a little bit thicker. And now we're going to take 2 more bands and go to the right and to the left. Go down on each row 1 time using 2 bands, so 2 black bands here, there, in the middle, and on here. Now we're switching to the yellow band, so we're just going to be alternating colors. So now we're switching to 2 yellow here, 2 yellow here, and 2 yellow here. And then again, switching to 2 black bands, 2 black, and 2 more black, switching back to yellow, so this is what yours should look like so far. Now we're going to finish the middle here, switch here, and then we're finishing him off his belly area with the black bands. So grab your black bands, put 2 here, here, and here, and then let me switch that one. That's what yours should look like so far. You should have that set up, and then take 2 more black bands, and you're going to place it from this peg to the outer peg, and the same from this middle peg to the outer peg, like that. And that's what yours should look like. And now we're going to grab, and I have all these on here, so I'm going to I'm going to take off the cheek because that's okay if that gets removed. And I need one of the feet. So be careful removing them. I'm just going to grab the loop on my finger, and I'm going to place it at the bottom of the loom. We don't need the bottom of the loom actually, we have extra pegs, so I'm going to place the antenna there. Here's the foot. I'm going to place one of my bee's feet right there. And then I'm going to try to grab the other one. So let me place the arm here. Actually, the arm can now go on, oh, we'll place that after actually, I'm sorry. Let's put that on the bottom. You can place the leg though. The other leg goes on this peg on the bottom. So now we place his feet. And you can actually grab the yellow cheek extensions, and you're going to place these two loops onto this peg right here. So it's 1, 2, 3, the fourth one down from the top. And once you've placed the loops there, you can grab your hook and go through those 3 bands, the ones that we just wrapped around 3 times, and bring it to the peg above. And if you have the other cheek extension available, you can do the same. This is why it's good to use toothpicks, so that we can grab these pieces easier. And so grab the other cheek and all those loops and put it on this peg right here. Then take your hook, go through those 3 loops right there and loop it to the peg above. That's your cheek. And if you are finished with your antenna, which you should be, you can actually take one of the antenna and it goes on this peg right here. And then I'm going to remove the other antenna, and the other antenna goes on here. And make sure that all the loops are on, otherwise it's going to fall apart. So the little bee is coming together. And the arm we're going to add after we do this little cheeky, this little belly extension thing. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to overlap some bands now to make his big belly. And how we do that is we're going to grab the color that matches the bottom. So we're going to start with this row first, grab 2 black bands, and we're going to place it on these 2 pegs. So now we have this set and this set. And then you're going to grab the next color, which is 2 yellow bands. You're going to place it on these 2. And the same, the next 2 is going to be black, the next 2 will be yellow, and then the final 2 are going to be black. And let's do the same on this side. So you're going to place 2 black bands over here. 2 yellow bands, 2 black, and 2 yellow, and then another, so we did black, yellow, and it should match the one underneath it perfectly, and then finally 2 more black. So we overlap this layer, and now what we're going to do is grab a single black band, 2 single black bands, and you're going to wrap it around this peg only 3 times, and the same on this peg right here, only 3 times. And then you're going to grab some more black bands because we're going to be placing triangle bands. And the first triangle band goes from here to here. So where his feet are, it's 1 peg up, and then you make a triangle. And that's a black band, and then the next one I'm using a yellow so it can match the bands, and that's a triangle. And then switching back to black, making a triangle there, and then switching back to yellow and making a triangle there. And then we're going to loop that layer and then remove it. So what you're going to do is you're going to reach in where we just wrapped a band 3 times, and you're going to grab this set of bands, the top layer only. So grab the first 2 black bands and loop it forward to the peg above. It's probably best to push all these bands down. Then push this triangle band back, and you should only be grabbing the top 2 yellow bands and loop that forward. Same here, push back that triangle band, grab just the top 2 black, loop forward, push back that triangle band that's black, grab just the top 2 yellow bands, loop that forward, and again just the top 2 black bands. So we finished this row. This is all looped. We're going to do this side. Again, you're pushing this band that we wrapped around only 3 times, and you're grabbing the top 2 black bands and looping that forward. Then push back this band, grab the next top 2 bands and loop it forward. Same here, loop the top 2 black bands forward, and these, make sure you're only grabbing the top layer of bands, not the bottom. And then again, and if you're not sure, you can look to the side and you can see a better view of you looping it. So now we looped this side and this side, and what we're going to do is we're going to remove it and place it on the outside of our loom. You're going to take your thumb and cover this peg so that it doesn't pop off, and you're not removing this one either. So you're leaving this one on the peg and this one, but all of this comes off. Take your finger and you're going to make sure you hold this peg, and you're going to pop this up and place it, including this one here, right here. Remember, leave that one on your peg, and you're going to place it to the outside of your loom. It's actually pretty fun to do. Leave that looped, everything else is on the side, and these bands should look like a triangle. Same here. Put your thumb on this peg so that it doesn't fall off, and you can do one at a time if you want. So I've popped it off, place it to the side, popped it off, place it to the side, popped it off, and this one too, don't forget to pop this one off. And if your bands accidentally look like this, or this one went like that, you need to fix that. It should have one yellow band underneath 2 of these pegs, and this one should be above, so they should all look like a triangle. So I'm going to fix this one, and that's what yours should look like right now. Perfect triangles in the middle, and then all these bands on the outside. And make sure that this one's on and this one's on. Now we can add his little arms. So you can remove it from the bottom peg, and you can place his arm right here. Actually, I'm sorry, do not do that. We're going to add the wings first, because the wings need to go first. So you're going to place, and watch out because you have the 3 bands right here. You're going to place the wings first over here. And then the other set of wings. And make sure you open them up and that you actually have all the loops. I like to put my finger through it so that I know that I grabbed all the loops. And that wing goes there. And you push down, and this part is going to be so tight when we loop, so I suggest a metal hook, and if you don't, I suggest being very, very, very careful. Then you're going to place one arm here and the other arm on this peg, the same peg as the wing. And then before we loop, we're going to add his eyes and nose. So first I'm going to show you how I do it with the beads. If you have a large pony bead, all you need to do is take your yellow band, place it through it, it's so simple, and just place the nose from here to here, and then you're done for that. And if you're using eyes, beads for eyes, the same as me, you're going to take a yellow band, place it through, and again place it through, and then you're going to take one of the eye bands, place the loop on your hook, you're going to twist and So we took the loop, we twisted it around itself and put the hook through it, and then same thing, take this loop, put it on your hook, twist the band, and you're going to do that a second time with this loop. If you're using bands because you don't have a bead, you're going to take a single black band, wrap it around your hook 4 times, then take a yellow band, transfer those black bands onto that band, that single yellow band, and then we do the same trick. Take this band, twist it, put your hook through it, take this loop, put it on your hook, twist, and put your hook through it again. So it looks almost identical to the other one, and then that would be your bee's eye if you're using bands, and that would be your bee's eye if you're using beads. So you can, if you're using bands, you can just copy the same thing I'm doing now. It's the same thing, just make sure that it's your band that you have. So I'm going to take the other one that has my black band, my black bead, and take the loop, twist, put on my hook, take the other loop, twist, and put it on my hook. And if you need to pause the video while you make the eyes, then you should do that. And now these are your eyes for your bee, and they'll go here. But first we grab a single yellow band, and we transfer the eye, the set of eyes on there, and then roll it down. And the same with these. And you just make sure that all 4 loops are on that single band. And once you know that you have both eyes on there, you can separate it a little and place one loop on this hook, on this peg, and the other on this peg. And then you can separate it and take your hook, open this little gap right here, and place one loop above the peg. And this is your bee's eye. So that's your eyes, and you can, it's the exact same process even if you're using bands. You just do it the way I showed you. And for the nose, if you don't have a large pony bead, you're going to make, and this is for if you need to use bands, take a single black band and wrap it around your hook 4 times. Take another single black band, wrap it around your hook 4 times. Grab a, where is it? Okay, grab a single black band, wrap it around itself. Take your pieces and transfer them onto that band that we wrapped around itself. And then once you know that they're both on, take your hook, put it through the other loop. That is your bee's nose, and it's chunky, so it looks like the bead. And then you're going to take that with a single yellow band and pull a single yellow band through. And then your nose would go in the same spot right here. And that would be your big bee's nose. And you can make your nose any color you want. It doesn't have to be black, it could be white. But today I'm going to be using the pony bead. And now we're done. We can loop the bead, and we're going to go slowly because we don't want anything to, any of the bands to tear. So let's begin by reaching in to this peg where the feet are, and the first thing we're aiming for is this middle band right here. So you have to figure out where it is for you. I'm going to get the foot out of the way, and this is the extension, and I'm going to push the extension back, push the feet back as well, and then this is the bottom band. You don't want this bottom band, so you can move that out of the way. So once we push the extension and the feet, you can see the available bands that we needed were the 3rd set. And then that goes to the middle peg right here. So once you grab it, it goes to the middle. And you know you grab the right one is when you pull. We're going to do the same with this side. So we're going to push back this extension and the bee's legs, and we're going to be aiming not for the bottom bands. The bottom bands, we're going to be aiming for this one right here, these bands that are right here. So I'm going to try to work sideways so you can see. So I'm reaching in, I'm pushing back the extension and the bee's legs, and I'm reaching for, I'm going to pull the bottom band away so that I don't grab them. I'm reaching for the next set, which is the third set, and I'm going to bring that up and to the middle, and my band just popped. That stinks. This is a very tight project, so I'm not surprised that happened. You should have looped this one of the bands to the middle peg on both sides, and now we're re-entering this peg so that we can grab the remaining 2 bands. So we push back every band and just grab the remaining 2, and those 2 bands. And if you feel like there's tension, you can pull on the leg a little and release it, and those 2 go forward. And the same here, you're going to reach in, you're going to push back the bands that are the leg and the extension, grab the bottom 2 black bands and loop it forward. And then you're reaching into this peg right here, push back every band, you're going to push back all these bands right here and just grab the bottom 2 black and loop that forward. And then you're going to take, this is the triangle band, you're going to push that back, grab these 2 yellow, loop it forward, grab this yellow set, loop that forward, push back this triangle band, grab the yellow and loop that forward. Always make sure when you enter a peg you're pushing the triangle bands back. Grab the 2 black, loop that forward. When we get to the wings and the arms, it's going to be a little hard. It's a very tight squeeze. You can loop the middle first, and then grab the black, bring it to the arm, grab this one, bring it to the arm, and now here's the fun part. You have to be really, really, really careful. So you're going to push back all the bands, and if you want to just push them a little bit to start stretching it so it's not as tight, and you're aiming for your 2 bottom black bands, and you're going to grab them and gently, and see how it's very tight for me. So what I did is, I don't know if you have a spare hook or something thin, I took my other hook and I went around in a circular motion to release the tightness, because it's really, really tight. And this is the only part that's going to be tight, is the arms. And then my bands won't pop. Otherwise, I think if you pull it, I think it's going to pop. So I take my hook and I go around like this, and then that released the tightness. And I'm going to do the same here. It's a pain in the butt, but it's very tight, so I'm just going to try to like loosen it up a little bit. It's the jelly bands, they make it so tight. And then I'm going to grab the bottom 2 black bands slowly and bring them up. And if you feel like it's just way too tight, grab a spare hook or something thin but that's strong and take it and go around in a circular motion like this. And then start bringing it forward. But as you bring it forward, still release some of that tightness with something else, with a spare hook. And then I'm able to, I just lost both bands. They didn't pop, but I lost them. And I placed it here. Luckily nothing has snapped. And I'm still going to go in a circular motion in this peg so that this band is no longer tight. So now both of my bands are very loose because I released it. And that's the little trick I like to do. Now take your hook, and hopefully nothing popped on you, and you're going to push back all these bands and grab the bottom 2. And again, if it's tight for you, for some reason it's tight here for me, you can take a spare tool something thin, and go in a circular motion to the top and see how quickly my band, the tightness was released, and then I brought that forward. And that's a trick you can use whenever you're looping so that your bands don't snap. Grab a single yellow band and you're going to place it on these 3 pegs right here. We forgot to make a little cheek triangle band. And then that's it. Take your hook and you're going to grab the first 2 yellow bands that you see. So the very top 2, and mine are going forward. And then the next 2 are going to the left for me and the right. And then we're going to, you can loop the middle of the face all the way. If you have bands, you can try to pop it through. And take this middle row, loop it, and just make sure when you loop over here, you push that eye band back and grab those 2 bands. So we loop the whole face in the middle. We're going to do the sides. This is where the extension is. And you know, it depends on the quality of your bands. You're going to take your hook and push back all these bands like that and just grab the bottom 2 and slowly bring it to the top. Again, if they're tight on you, go like this with your hook and that releases it. Same here, push back all the bands and just grab the bottom 2 and see, I'm pulling and I feel that it's tight. I don't like that. Sometimes I pinch the bands, I take my hook, I go around, and then it released it. And that's why a lot of my creations, the bands won't pop, because I do those little tricks. Take your hook, go in here, and reach for the bottom 2, and loop forward. Same here, push back all the bands, just reach for the bottom 2. Why did I not grab 2? Okay, here we go. And now when we get to this part, there's that little eye band. You want to make sure you push that eye band back, grab the 2 bottom yellows and bring them to the antenna. Same here, grab that eye band, push it back, grab the 2 yellow bands, bring it to the antenna. Reach in here and grab the 2 bottom yellow bands. Make sure you're pushing the black bands back and loop it to the middle. And the same here, push back the black and loop that to the middle. Well, that nightmare was over. So now we're going to grab a single or double bands. I'm going to use double. And you're going to go through all these bands right here. Grab 2 bands, pull it through, bring it to the top. And you're going to create a slip knot where you bring the top 2 bands over and then pull this up. Now after all that tight bands, I suggest you don't rip your bee off of the loom at all. I suggest you take the back of your hook and literally go peg by peg, because once he's off the loom, he's not going to be a problem, but while he's on there, it's so tight. So I'm just going to go very slowly because I don't trust him. His wings, I'm sorry if you had problems with that. That was a pain in the butt. So I'm getting to the neck, and this is why I said, you know, maybe triple bands for the neck, because the neck is sometimes delicate. If you put this on a backpack for a friend or yourself, I suggest you tell everybody not to pull on it. And I suggest maybe you make the the little bands for the slip knot, maybe add 2 more yellow bands. So I'm almost done. Okay, we're good. Let's see what happened here. So it looks a little weird, but we're going to fix that. And we're going to bring his eye forward, and actually that's the back of him. This is the front. Wait, no, I'm sorry. The arms go in the front, so this is the front. If the arms are in the front, that's the front. So bring his eye forward, and then you would pop his nose through. And just start pulling on him. These bands are weird. They're from Joanne, so they're not looking as cute as I thought it would look. This one came out better. This one is a different brand. And then if you have bands that like the back is loose and the front is not, you take your hook and you pull it to even it out on both sides. And same here, this is too loose in the back, so I'm going to take my hook and pull, find the band that it belongs to and pull it so that it's even. So now he looks a little bit better. Now he's taking shape. And as far as the wing, we have to fix this. This is not right. We need to take this band in the back, these two bands, and bring both arms through like that. So I'll do that again to show you. There's these two black bands in the back and two right here, the first two. Bring the wing and the arm through it. Otherwise he looks funny. And now he looks, see, now I knew something was wrong. And just start pulling on his body to adjust all those loose bands. And this bottom part too. And again, see how that's loose? So it belongs to this one. I'm going to pull it, tug it a little to match it. And where else? And the same on this one. It's too loose. Which one does this one belong to? And you don't have to watch the rest of this video. I just want to show you the little tricks that I do when I find bands that are loose that annoy me, because they annoy me. I don't like them like this. And so now he looks a lot better. He looks different than this guy because it's a different yellow. But other than that, he's still cute. And now I'm going to show you, you take your hook and you can go through the cap bands on the wing, all four, and pull up a little bit. And pull it out, and that'll make it more of a triangle shape. And the same here. Take your hook, go through the cap bands, tug on it, and then pinch the corners, and that'll give it more of that pointy look that we're aiming for. For the little band, you can take your hook, go through here, grab those two loops, and hide it in the back. That's what I do. And now that's your bumblebee. He's huge compared to the other guy because of the different brand of the bands. And for the stinger, that's optional. You don't have to add a stinger, but if you do, I will show you. And you can use gray bands if you want. You can use any color stinger. I don't have the gray bands with me right now, so I'm just going to use the jelly just to give you an example of how I made it. So what I did was I grabbed a jelly band and I wrapped it around my hook 4 times, and then I grabbed another jelly single, wrapped around itself, and I transferred all those bands onto that, and then take the hook and grab that other loop, and you do that again. Take a single band, it doesn't have to be jelly, it could be gray, whatever color you want the stinger to be, and wrap around itself that loop, and then put your hook through. And we will do that 2 more times. Take a single, wrap it around itself, loop it through, and catch it. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and where are we now? Okay, 3. And once you have the desired length of your stinger, it's your choice how long you want it to be. I'm doing 4. Then you grab black bands so it can match his the back of his butt area, I guess. And you're going to grab 3 bands and you're going to loop that through like this. So it's just 3. Once you've placed the 3 bands through all those jellies, or whatever color you chose, you're going to find the back of your bee, and you're going to remove just one of these, but you're going to hold on to it so it doesn't fall off. So there's 3 on here, so I'm just going to hold all 3 loops, make sure it doesn't fall. You're going to take this one, you're going to grab one set, 2 of these bands right here. This last 2 bottom bands, you're going to grab both of them. So take your hook, go through both, while leaving this set of black bands on here. and then grab the other set. It should look like that. And then you have to take this single and try to thread it through all this. So I do it carefully so that I don't lose it. You can pinch it and pull that single band through, and then I'm doing this set and pull the single band through. And then you can create a slip knot with that band that I just lost. Where'd it go? So you take that band and you can create a slip knot. And that's just the way that you can add a little stinger in the back. And then you take that slip knot and you can just hide it in the back and thread it. And that's how you add your little bee stinger. Again, it could be shorter or it could be longer, and it doesn't have to be that color either. So there's your little bee. This is the other one. And thank you for watching. And if you enjoyed the tutorial, please subscribe. Mention that if you want the legs to stay a certain way, there's these 2 bands right here, or 3 bands by the feet. Not important, but it just, his legs will lay right. So these 3 bands in the front, and you're going to carefully take his foot and put it through. And then those bands should be in the back, and then the same here, these 3 bands, and that was the extension band, so they kind of belong in the back. And then take his foot and pull it through, and now he looks a lot more normal. And I just thought I'd let you know so that your bee looks better. And you just, again, play with the arms and they should look good. So thank you for watching.